We're joined now by Dan Hurley, the head coach of the Huskies. We see some hands up. Coach, would you like to tell us how your day's going so far? Then we'll take some questions.
Yeah, good day. So, for us, just did a lot of our live work and the scout work for the game tomorrow at ASU. So I got a chance to see my big brother over there, and got to spend a little time with him. And now we'll do a lot of shooting and just let these guys get a lot of shots in the dome.
Sounds good, Coach. Our first question will come in the front row on the left. Zach Braziller of the New York Post.
Zach Braziller, New York Post. How you doing, Dan?
What's up, Zach?
Ask Nate this too. 3 of the 4 coaches here were high school coaches, and not really that long ago. How much do you think coaching in high school prepares you for this, number one? And number 2, do you think maybe the fact that you have these high school coaches could maybe help maybe other high school coaches who we all know they're really good high school coaches who just never get that shot?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's opportunity to, at the high school level through trial and error without the college pressure to, kind of work on your craft as a coach. And then you have to do all things in a high school program. So, you don't have a dobo and 3 full-time assistants. So, you become a one-man show. So that experience, you get to develop in every way as a coach. You also, too, you get a chance to witness and get to know a lot of college programs that recruit your players. So you see some programs that did it really well with your players, and then you saw some other ones that didn't do a very good job with your players. So you learn a lot, from that aspect. And then I think with me, Kevin, and Nate too, I know I got to coach low and mid-major, so to have the high school background with the low and the mid-major coaching too, is obviously, prepares you when you get a high major job like the 3 of us have now.
Coach up front on the left, Mike.
Hey, Dan. Mike Anthony Hurst, Connecticut.
What's up, Mike?
What's up? Even with the most important work and the biggest goal right ahead of you, Dan, is there any element of just appreciating a final journey with this group, what it's meant to you? And I don't know if you grow so sentimental at all or appreciate just being here.
Yeah, no doubt, a lot of emotion, and just thinking about the level of success that that this group of players has had this year, and really going into the season. Obviously, we talked about Brooklyn to Boston to Phoenix, but we really wanted the Big East regular season and the Big East tournament championship. I mean, those are the ones that we hadn't had. We had the regional championship last year. We won the national championship, and just the run that this group's been on has been historic. Historic within the UConn program, and then the first defending national champ to get back to the Final Four. So since 2007, so it's been a historic run, and you do take little moments to appreciate it, but they don't last long.
Coach, second row on the left, Wall Street Journal.
Hey, Coach. Robert O'Connell, Wall Street Journal. You and your players have talked about Luke's influence on this program, especially bringing in European basketball concepts. What leagues has he got you watching these days, and what's the strangest league you found yourself watching on Luke's laptop at some point?
Well, I mean, he's sending. He sends a lot of clips. Trying to think. I mean, we've watched it all. Turkey, teams in Turkey, teams in the Japanese league. We'll watch. We watch low Division I, Division II. We're watching women's college basketball. We're watching a lot, and Luke and Kamani. I mean, those 2 guys are. I mean, they're head coach quality. They're high major level head coach quality. So they're just those 2 guys and have no holes in their game at all. They're highest level recruiters, great with player development, great with tactics, understand the branding piece, great motivators.
Coach on the left side by the column.
Hey, Coach. Jason Fitz, Yahoo Sports. Given the fact that you guys are defending national champions and you're winning games in an alarming clip, and the way we usually talk about teams doing that, do you feel like Connecticut's being slept on or disrespected in this process?
I don't think so. I think a lot of really smart basketball people that watch us play, have an appreciation for how well we've played. I think coming into the year, I don't think people on the outside expected us to play this well. I don't know if you stuck a lie detector on me if I thought we'd play this well, especially in a tournament that's so hard. It's so hard to advance in this tournament and get to a Final Four. I mean, look at the biggest brands and the best programs historically, have a hard time getting to a Final Four in recent history. So I get it, but we've been brilliant. We've played great. The thing about this tournament, though, is none of that matters on Saturday. It's just we're going to have this 2-hour game versus Alabama, and if we're not on point, we won't play on Monday.
Up front and center.
Will Dawson with the Christian Broadcasting Network. Last year, after winning the championship, you said something matter of fact, but it was very profound too, in that winning a championship wasn't as fulfilling as you thought it would be. Know that you have a foundation of faith. In light of this weekend, does your faith kind of help keep wins and losses in perspective?
Yeah, I think, for me, when I get back in the locker room after, a great victory, I find just a couple minutes to pray, to pray to God and to be grateful and thankful for giving me and the team the strength. And I think about all the people that you've lost in life that are in heaven that have helped you get here. And then when you're going through the struggles too, it's the faith, your faith in God that gets you through the tough times. So whether it's good times or bad times, your faith in Jesus Christ is what's going to be your rock.
On the right, toward the back. One row behind. Thank you.
Hi, Coach Hurley. Kobe Mosley with student journalist of the USBWA. My question for you is, how do you know when a player of yours is bought into your coaching style, and how do you kind of see that reflective on the court or off the court?
Yeah, I think we could tell in the recruiting process because there's our visits when we talk to them, when we meet them in person, when we have the campus visits. We're not trying to put on a show. It's about substance. For us, we want them to watch us practice and see how hard we go, and we want to talk basketball with them and talk about winning and our old school values in terms of our work ethic and accountability and responsibility with a modern style of play with basketball. So we don't try to fool people on a visit by showing them the arenas and putting together just great branding presentations. We make it about ball and what we're trying to accomplish as individual players, and then obviously as a program. We're just old school with the way we go about things.
Up front on the left side, Jaden.
Jaden Daly, Daily Dose of Hoops. All tournament, you've talked about how much pressure you've put on yourself to get Cam and Steph to this stage. Now, has that pressure ramped up? Has it intensified now that you guys are here?
I don't know if it's ramped up. I think it's a pretty consistent. Obviously going into the tournament, there was a lot of pressure to get this team here, especially those guys. You run through the season the way we did, and just the Big East tournament and all that, and yeah, I mean, wanting to get them here, and now you're staring at a chance to make history. You're as a back-to-back, and just getting to that championship game and what that would feel like. But I don't know. When you play at UConn, we don't have the benefit of flying under the radar. We don't. So when you get to pressure moments, and everyone that's in the Final Four now feels pressure, we don't have more pressure on us than Alabama, Purdue, or NC State, because everyone here believes that they're going to win a national championship. So what helps us, though, is the pressure that we feel from the beginning of the season because of the history and the tradition, and the pressure of every game that we play in at UConn helps us when we get to these big spots, because we're not under the radar ever. So I think that helps us when we get out under the bright lights.
Center of the room, Brendan.
Hey Dan, Brendan Quinn from The Athletic.
What's up?
How are you? Were there any moments early summer, early off-season, whatever, when you had to kind of drop the hammer of that is over, everything is now going forward? And if so, what did those times kind of look like?
I would say the closed scrimmage. I thought we had a really good summer. As soon as we saw how good Cam was, as soon as we saw how good Spencer was and Steph, I think we knew that we had a starting five that was going to be as good as what anyone had in the sport. And but then we got drilled in the second half in the closed scrimmage at Virginia, and that was a real eye-opener, wake-up call there. We had a pretty good first half, and in the second half we got smashed, and that was we got back, and that was a real wake-up call going into the start of non-conference, because that was like right around the corner.
You want to follow
I was
up, Brendan?
seething. I was seething.
But was part of you thrilled to see them get thumped like that and say, well, that banner only lasts so long?
No, when you see, I guess when you taste that blood that first time, you don't know how the group's going to respond. I mean, you don't ever want to lose that bad. You don't know that your team is good either at that point. That was our first real live game, and just to get beat up like that in the second half of that scrimmage was jarring, because when you play bad and lose, no matter how good you are, you don't ever think you're going to win again. But we
Fourth row, right side.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach. Kurt Kretschmar, Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah.
Heard in Hartford on 97.9.
Let's go, Hartford.
How do you think your boys handled the travel problems with the flight getting here after 3 a.m.?
Yeah, I think we handled it really well. We didn't really talk about it. I know that, there's a misnomer. I think a lot of the external things that you use, like the slights, the tweets, the being undervalued, underranked, players not getting their due, what have you, a lot of that stuff is really great during the monotony of a regular season, when like the dog days of February. But a lot of that stuff, you can't use it for as much when you get to this time of year. So, like me being mad about the flights and all these different things. At this point of season, it's just everyone's super motivated. There's nothing but top teams out there. And no one cares if you're a little cranky because you missed your sleep cycle.
Fourth row on the left side.
Hi, Coach. Noah Butler, NAZ Sports. You started the season against a Northern Arizona team, and now you're back here in Phoenix. Was that kind of something you had planned going in, or is that just a coincidence?
It's just Lumberjacks. They're the Lumberjacks? Yes. Yeah, that's why we got the Lumberjacks. Tim Russo, too, and Mad Dog. That was part of the deal, I think. They had to take him, and then we would do a bye game. And then Bob out here, and just Nate. Sometimes stuff just happens.
Left side by the column.
Hey, Ricky O'Donnell from SB Nation. A couple of the guys in the locker room were saying that they often see the old high school history teacher in you come out, referencing historical figures and using it as a teaching lesson. How much joy do you take in that and enjoy flexing those muscles? And I know your dad also had another job in addition to coaching high school basketball. How do you think that sort of helped you grow as a coach, having, other duties besides for just coaching ball?
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I've been a high school teacher. I've taught world history, starting with the collapse of the Roman Empire, mostly focused on European history, but from the Dark Ages all the way through to the Reformation. I've also taught driver's ed, health, sex ed to co-ed classes at St. Anthony. Being able to, at 22 years of age, 22 years old, to be able to teach, sex ed at St. Anthony, co-ed classes, you learn how to control a classroom and keep an audience captivated. I think it's definitely helped me as a coach in the huddle. And I think it also helps to if you have other jobs, you besides just being a coach, I think it just helps you with perspective a little bit too. Thank you for that.
We'll go up front to the right, Bill, and we'll also welcome in Donovan Klingon.
Bill Road, let's go.
Hey, Dad. I just have a question. It's been really intriguing to hear you talk about transfers and the portal and all that kind of stuff, because you've seen the whole evolution. And I guess I'm wondering, bottom line, has it been good for the industry? And if you were on the committee to tweak it, what would the tweak be?
Yeah, it's tough because there's just a lot of situations that come up. I don't know if it's maybe a situation where you give a player a one-time transfer, and then also if there's circumstances like a coach getting fired or a coach taking another job where there's more flexibility involved. I look at my own situation, and obviously, I'll reflect on that. What changed my life was having to stay at Seton Hall and work through my own shortcomings and have to fix myself, and then also coming to the realization that I wasn't an NBA player, and that I needed to develop a skill set and a mindset that would maybe put me in a situation where maybe I wouldn't peak until my 40s and 50s, and it wouldn't be as a player. It might be as a coach or in business or another aspect in life. So, there's a lot of positive things about being able to get a change of scenery, and you just hope it doesn't create an environment where young people just run from fixing themselves, which is usually the issue.
We're joined by Donovan Klingon from UConn. We'll continue with questions for Coach Hurley and for Donovan. We're going to transition into our question and answer period for those with the black lanyards in the full court press program. But first, maybe we'll take a half court press question on the left side, all the way back.
This guy from the beginning of the year.
Put your hand up, my man.
Yes. Killian Johnson, Sports Illustrated Kids. Coach Hurley, what is the most valuable lesson that the players have taught you this year?
I've had, I would say with Tristan, for me, has been the biggest thing, just the evolution of our relationship. I think as a coach, sometimes you want your players, personality-wise, to mirror you and have my same level of intensity, my same level of energy, and and just having an appreciation for having a locker room with different types of people. Some cool customers like Tristan, some fireballs like Cam, some guys that are somewhere in the middle like Kling Kong over here, that sometimes are fired up but then also have that confidence level. So, not everyone's got to look like me, sound like me, act like me, or sometimes you implode as a team if you have too many fireballs.
We'll take questions for those individuals with the black lanyards from Full Court Press on the right side.
Hello. Hey, how you doing, Coach? My name is Jalen Weathers, Arizona State. So as far as your coaching style, have you picked up anything from your brother or father's coaching style that you put into your own?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, number one, we talk constantly, about the position, right? All the, the tactics, the psychology and leadership, the player development piece, how long you're practicing, maybe some wrinkles and some things that we both are doing on offense or defense that, that we like. So I sometimes you have common opponents. I think there's constant conversations about things that are working, aren't working, that we're always sharing with each other.
Next question is all the way to the right side, all the way up front.
Hi, my name's Lainey. I'm with ASU. My question for you is, your men's team right now has a #1 seed and your women's team is sitting at a #3 seed, which means both have earned the opportunity to compete in the Final Four. what does it mean to the universities to have such hugely successful programs? And do you think that UConn could possibly take home 2 titles this year?
I mean, yeah, it's great to share a building. Seeing the work that they put in all year, especially the injuries that they've had, and the struggles they had this season. And it's the basketball capital of the world. To have both schools in the Final Four, it's special. We're both teams are trying to do special things, and we're going to do everything we can to bring back 2 titles.
This is like this time of year too, right? To be on the stage for just the university has obviously an opportunity here to capitalize on that. And like Donovan said, I mean, we're so just thrilled for the women's team, and good luck to those guys tonight. We'll be having our own watch party for that, but they deserve it. I mean, all the injuries and to be where they are is just incredible. Speaks to the talent, the character.
We're on the right side still, just to the left of the aisle.
Hi, my name is Adriana. I'm with Arizona State. So my question is about superstitions. Have you guys had any of those that you've kind of taken throughout? Yeah.
Wrong way.
This
Wrong
way.
way?
This way. There you go.
I got you. Forks up.
Have you had any like superstitions or traditions that you've carried through as a player and a coach, and I mean even now in the locker room, any of those?
Donovan first, then Coach.
I have a couple. Just the way I put right sock before left sock, right ankle tape before left ankle tape, but nothing too crazy. I keep it simple. I just don't overthink anything. Just go out to the game and attack it the same way.
This guy's crazy, huh? I mean, I didn't do any as a player. Maybe that's why I came up short there. Maybe I should have had these superstitions. What's that? A song everyone knows mine. I'm good.
Continuing with questions for Donovan or Coach, raise your hand. We have 2 to the left of the aisle.
Hi, my name is Melody Morris. I'm also with Arizona State University, so forks up. Donovan, you have a stacked list of your NIL deals, and they're super awesome. Do you find it hard to balance all of those deals with your schoolwork, or even balancing keeping up a certain persona with those deals?
No, I mean, that's why I have people around me helping me. My focus is basketball and school, and just making sure all my schoolwork's done, all my basketball stuff's done. And if there's opportunities on off days or free time, I try to, get some stuff done, with the time I have. But it's really rest. It's basketball. It's it's schoolwork, and if you have time and the opportunity to, then I try to do it.
Yeah, he loves to fish too, and I'm just surprised he didn't get anything with any of the fish. You've got nothing fishing, right?
Nothing.
What is it, big bat?
Bass Pro Shops.
We'll go back to that same area, and Jalen.
So yeah, basically on that, right here. Yeah, same place. No, you good. So basically on that subject, or just with that balance and just figuring out, obviously you're in the Final Four, but and you've been away for 2-3 weeks now. So for you personally, Donovan, have you been able to easily do your schoolwork still and still focus on basketball, or is that kind of difficult right now?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, within the past couple of weeks, we've done a lot of traveling. So, it's really on the bus rides, the plane rides, is just, trying to crank out as much work as I can, and, in the mornings before practice. It's, right now it's basketball and school. You're not worried about anything else. So, when you're not on the court, you're able to have some, rest time to, do some schoolwork, do some homework, and make sure everything's taken care of.
We do have a few more minutes for questions, if there are any from Full Court Press. If not, we can get some from someone else. Go to the center. Let's get a microphone, the back right microphone.
Coach Scott Sanduli, Connecticut Sports, right here in the middle.
Sorry, bud.
Also Arizona State.
Let's go.
So having a Connecticut kid in Donovan up there with you as one of your top players, what does that mean both for you as the head coach at UConn and for really the whole state of Connecticut that really is so passionate about UConn basketball?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just, it means a lot more. He's 7'2". You know, if he was like 6'2", it wouldn't be as great. But you know, I think just in general, if you're going to recruit a kid from Connecticut, it's got to be a home run. You know, like, because there's going to just be such expectations, especially with this guy coming in. You know, he just was a larger than life figure. You know, coming in, he was like, you know, legendary kid coming up. There was such anticipation, and then, you know, to have him absolutely exceed expectations and, you know, just absolutely knock it out of the park, and, you know, be on the cusp of being, you know, one of the greatest players to ever put the uniform on as a Bristol kid. That's how you want it to work out, exactly the way you hoped it would.
Any other full court press questions at this time? All right, we'll take one on the left side.
This is for you, Dan. Mark Ziegler, San Diego Union Tribune. You've been on both sides of this at Rhode Island and then with the Power Conference team. The fabric of the NCAA tournament is Cinderellas. With the NIL and with the transfer portal, unlimited transfer regulations, are you concerned that might wipe out the Cinderella because they're just going to keep losing their players every year?
I mean, it's not going to help the Cinderella advance, but what I think it's done is it's created a lot more depth amongst the high majors. If anything, I think it probably hurts the blue bloods, because I think that you know, maybe players, you know, pre-NIL, you know, they were moved by the brand, the history, you know, the attention, and, you know, I think that you know, the Power Fives and the other high majors now, the NIL has balanced the playing fields against the blue bloods, is what I would think is probably even more impactful.
We'll go up front to Bill, and then we'll close things out with Billy.
Hey, Dad. I was just wondering, you know, for those of us who've been covering this stuff for like decades, we've seen instances of players and coaches whose careers were ruined because of taking extra benefits and things like that. And when you look at some of the numbers, when you look at it and you look at the old clips, and the numbers were like nothing. If they were playing today, it would be unbelievable, you know. So I'm wondering how you feel just as a coach and who's been through the system. Should there be some kind of, I don't know if the word is reparations or something to go back and, I don't know, expunge the records, or saying, listen, we realize this was probably not a good thing? Or how do you feel about that?
You know what? I'm probably not smart enough to figure out how you would do that. Obviously, there are missed opportunities, you know, for a lot of players, you know, that way. I'll say this: I personally coach hard. I coached these guys the last 2 years since NIL started. I've coached my teams harder than I've coached any teams, just because of everything that these guys now have at their disposal. The resources that the University of Connecticut and, you know, programs now invest in these players is not for their attendance. It's not to just to be on campus. It's to produce and to produce winning. And it's the way we travel. You know, the residents, the full service dining that we have in our 40 million plus practice facility, the NIL opportunities. I coach the hell out of these guys because of everything that they get, and they have a responsibility to work harder and to represent UConn and to fight their absolute ass off to win games, you know, for our donors, our fans, the university, because of everything that they get that past players didn't get.
Going to wrap things up with Billy on the left.
Right, Donovan?
Yes, agree.
Billy Witz with the New York Times. Dan, I understand that all the coaches at UConn go through CPR training, and I'm just wondering if you can kind of describe what that was like for you and how aggressive you were on the dummy.
Well, I'm a certified lifeguard. I took, at Seton Hall, a couple of the classes I took that got me to my degree was beginners aquatics and then advanced aquatics. So I don't know if I still have the certification, but I'm a certified lifeguard. So I have all of those abilities, and obviously you take it seriously because you know of situations, with players and with staff members. So, we do the training every 2 years or so, and I'm a certified lifeguard.
We'd like to thank Donovan, who's not a certified lifeguard, and Coach Hurley, who is, for joining us here in the main interview room. We'll see you guys tomorrow. They're going to go to open practice right now out on the floor. Enjoy.